Hello everyone, following the Web Intersect series, and anybody who happens to be using the Web Intersect source files, here's a little tidbit of information that you'll definitely want to know. What happens is, when I log into the site, well, first I switched my server over to PHP 5 maybe about a week ago, and so when I did, I went and observed all of my dynamic pages on all my sites to make sure that all of the things were displaying correctly and made fixes where I needed to, because sometimes when you're running PHP 4 there's certain things that you can do that won't cause errors to occur, and then there's in PHP 5 those same certain things will cause an error to occur. So what has happened here in our case with the Web Intersect source package is, when I log in, everything is fine. I can go from page to page and I stay logged in and everything's great. But when I go and close my browser, the cookies aren't working. So let me close the browser. All the files on my desktop. And then I open the browser back up and go to Web Intersect. And you see what happened? It logged me out. My cookies were never established when I logged in, now that the server's on PHP version 5. And it's really my fault with the code and the way that I set up the login script, and it's a very easy fix. So let's fix that now. So here we are in the login.php file, which is inside of the scripts folder. All you gotta do is open this file up, and with PHP 5 you cannot output anything before you set cookies. You have to set cookies before you run any output. So I looked in my script and I said, there's output right there, right before I set cookies. So there's the flaw in the script, and there's no other output. So all we have to do is grab that, and honestly, it doesn't even have to be in that while loop where that was printing out. Doesn't have to be within that while loop. So we can just take it out, go down here right under the end remember me section code, and pop it back in. So now we're printing out to flash under or after we set cookies, which is what you have to do if you're running PHP 5. And I should have scripted it like this from the beginning, but when I switched my server over, that was the only errors that occurred, and the only bit of functionality that, or the only part of the scripts that stopped working when I switched over to PHP version 5 is this cookies, the login script. The cookies, set cookies, weren't working. But now with this, it should all work just fine. I'm going to save it. I'm going to login.php. I'm going to upload it to the server. I'm going to go back to Web Intersect. And now I'm going to log in. See what happens. I'm going to make sure I hit the remember me box. Now log in, see what happens. Okay, it's logged me in. I can go from page to page, stay logged in. Now what I'm going to do is shut my browser down. It doesn't matter which browser it is. All browsers, it will fix it up. Because if you switch to PHP version 5, or if you just attempt to use that script in PHP version 5, set cookies will not work. So now let's open the browser back up, see what happens. You see, set cookie works now, and all we did was take those 2 lines of code out from inside this while loop and place them after we set cookie, and that fixes everything up. Honky-dory, running on PHP version 5 now, the whole server and system. So now you know, irrefutable proof that the source files work for PHP version 4 and version 5, and I don't see any other errors. I switched the versions over last week to PHP version 5, and that's the only thing that was out of sync. That's the only thing I had to change, and now everything's fine. And you saw how long it took me to change that. 2 seconds. Okie dokie. And what I'm going to do now is update the source package on the free source package page here. There's going to be a new one, version 1.2, fixing this bug. And these old versions will stay as as they are, bugs and all. Okay,